The release of iOS 16 has been widely anticipated. The next version of Apple's iPhone software was previewed at WWDC 2022. We now have a better idea of all the new features coming to your iPhone, including as a redesigned lock screen with widgets, significant messages upgrades, a shared photo library for families, and more. In this video we are going to cover new features coming on the iOS 16. Welcome to TECHFRONTER. On this channel, we discuss the best topics on the best tech and software out there right now. So don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome content, so let's get into it. There's even another reason to keep an eye on iOS 16. The final version will be unveiled at the same time as the new iPhone 14 versions, which are expected to arrive later this year. Here's what we know so far regarding iOS 16's major upgrades. The most important new iPhone features in iOS 16. The lock screen in iOS 16 has been completely redesigned. The clock typeface, font color, and backgrounds can all be changed. You can also rotate photographs and add widgets. The lock screen can now be used to focus. You may make new lock screens for each of your focus modes, such as work and play, with their own customizations and widgets. Messages now allows you to edit and remove messages. SharePlay will also function in Messages. Apple Pay now allows you to make contactless payments with shops using only your iPhones, with no additional hardware required. Apple Pay later allows you to pay for an item in 4 installments over the course of 6 weeks, with no interest or fees. People can share photos in a separate iCloud library using the iCloud Shared Photo Library. Family sharing has been improved, making it much easier for parents to set up their children's gadgets. The arrival of iOS 16 is a possibility. The first day of WWDC 2022 got off on June 6 with a keynote address. A preview of iOS 16 was released during WWDC, followed by a developer beta release. In July, the public beta will be released. iOS 16 will most likely be released in the fall, along with the iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Pro. We don't know when the iPhone 14 will be released, but Apple usually releases its products around September. iOS 16 is expected to be released at the same time as the iPhone 14. Devices which will be compatible with iOS 16. Apple's most recent software updates have been compatible with the same devices, with support dating back to the iPhone 6s, which was released in the fall of 2015. Apple is discontinuing support for some older phones due to the quantity of iOS 15 features that require more contemporary hardware. In reality, Apple has stated that iOS 16 will be available for iPhones 8 and up. According to previous speculations, this version would drop support for the iPhone 6s, iPhone 6s Plus, and the original iPhone SE from 2016. The iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus, on the other hand, are no longer supported by iOS 16. Owners of such phones won't be too upset if iOS 16 marks the end of Apple's support for them. The original iPhone SE was released 6 years ago, and the iPhone 6s models will be 7 years old this fall. Even the iPhone 7 will be 6 years old soon. Given the advancements in computing power since then, it's only reasonable to believe that some iOS 16 features are beyond the capabilities of those devices. The lock screen on iOS 16. The iOS 16 lock screen received a lot of attention from Apple. In a nutshell, it's a complete makeover of the old, worn-out lock screen. There are other changes, some of which appear to be similar to what Google has done with Android. You may modify the font and color of the clock, move pictures around, experiment with different styles like filters, change one or more items, and create several lock screens. You can also incorporate entire subjects, such as astronomy or weather, to your work. Notifications now appear at the bottom of the screen rather than in the middle of your background. To keep your lock screen uncluttered, you can conceal them throughout the day. iOS 16 also includes live activities for notifications that regularly update in real time, such as sports apps, making it much easier to stay on top of things. The ability to have a live screen with widgets appears to pave the way for an always-on display, which is common on Android phones but not on Apple's. Even though Apple hasn't said so, the iPhone 14 could change that. However, code in the iOS 16 developer preview suggests that the iPhone 14 Pro versions will have an always-on display. Messages on iOS 16. Messages will also be greatly improved. Many people will welcome the ability to modify and undo your messages, which has been long overdue. You may also flag topics as unread so you can revisit them later. SharePlay, which debuted in iOS 15, is now available in Messages as well. You may now switch between speech and text in dictation thanks to new upgrades. While speaking, the keyboard remains open, and you may select text with your finger and replace it with dictation. Punctuation and emojis will be automatically terminated by dictation. Focus on iOS 16. One of our favorite features of iOS 15 was Focus, which blocked off unnecessary distractions so you could focus on what you were doing, whether it was work or play. And it'll be much better in iOS 16. For starters, it will now include the ability to build unique panels related to a single focus mode on your iPhone's lock screen. You could, for example, have one for work, with business-related wallpaper, widgets, and customizations, and another for relaxing at home. Furthermore, the focus customizations will extend to selected apps. For example, if you choose Work Focus, Safari, Messages, Mail, and Calendar will only show notifications relating to that. On the lock screen, switching between focus modes would be as simple as swiping between them. Wallet on iOS 16. Many people are hurting financially right now, as you may have noticed, so Apple's new Pay Later function should be a welcome addition. This allows you to divide purchases into 4 equal payments over a 6-week period, with no interest and no fees. It'll be integrated into Apple Wallet and will work anywhere Apple Pay is accepted, regardless of retailer. That's almost like having an interest-free, short-term credit card, and it sounds fantastic. It's not a novel concept. In fact, it's nearly identical to PayPal's Pay in 4 option, but it's still a useful feature. Apple Pay now has an order tracking feature, which will provide you with full receipts and order tracking information, all within Apple Wallet, to help you better manage your payments. Finally, there are some new features in Wallet's keys and IDs. You can now use your Wallet ID to verify your identity and age within apps, and you can transfer house, hotel, business, and auto keys in Wallet via Apple's messaging apps. And, of course, all of this data will be kept safe. Maps on iOS 16. Apple's navigation software is growing once more, this time to include 11 new nations. It's also expanding the 3D city map network to include 6 other cities, including Chicago, Sydney, and the stunning-looking Las Vegas. In practice, you can now add up to 15 stops to an Apple Maps route, making it easier to navigate between various locations. You may add more on the go by asking Siri, or you can plan a route on your Mac and send it to your iPhone when you're ready. If you take public transportation, you can now check the rates for your trip in Apple Maps, and you can also add your transit cards to the Apple Wallet app to see if you have enough credit to get to your destination. Live text and visual lookup in iOS 16. iOS 16 will also bring improvements to live text and visual lookup. You'll be able to extract text from videos starting with live text. You can pause at any time and select the text you want to highlight. You can use live text in Translate to highlight vast volumes of foreign text. You can use visual lookup to highlight the query's subject. Simply tap and hold the subject, lift it, and set it in the app of your choice. Messages was Apple's suggestion. iCloud Shared Photo Library was also introduced by Apple. This is a different library from your other iCloud stuff, and it allows you to share images with friends and family in the same way that Google Photos allows you to do. Up to 5 persons can be added. You can share specific images or all of your photos, and you can organize them by person or date. You may either manually upload photos or utilize the new sharing shortcut in the Camera app to automatically upload photos as you capture them. If you like, you can flick this switch to have it automatically enabled. On the For You page, Photos will even suggest photos to share. Everyone in the shared library has the same level of access. News and Sports on iOS 16. A new sports area will be added to Apple News, allowing you to follow teams and leagues for all the latest news and updates. Schedules, results, and highlights are all available on the My Sports area. The Apple TV app keeps track of everything you own. This will be available for free in the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia. Subscribers to Apple News Plus will get access to premium sports coverage for their favorite teams. Safety check for iOS 16. Apple wants to take a stand on personal safety, hence safety check will be included in iOS 16. This allows domestic abuse victims to easily cancel account access, such as disabling location sharing or app permissions. All privacy permissions can be adjusted with safety check, and access to messages is protected. Other features in iOS 16, we've covered the highlights of Apple's keynote thus far. However, as WWDC progresses, we'll undoubtedly learn a lot more about Apple's mobile OS. Everything we learn will be gathered here. We do know that there will be an update that will allow Face ID to unlock your iPhone in landscape mode. In addition, iOS 16 now supports Nintendo Switch controller connectivity. In addition, iOS 16 will allow you to copy and paste modifications into your photos. What we still don't know about iOS 16, Apple discussed a lot, but we didn't hear nearly as much as rumors suggested. Leaks Apple Pro tweeted opens in new tab that Apple was working on. Large widgets, which would contain numerous widgets in a single container. According to Leaks Apple Pro, the huge widgets appear to be similar to the Smart Stack widgets that are now available in iOS 15. However, the iOS 16 version would display numerous widgets at once rather than forcing users to scroll through them. Control Center widgets for managing items like the iPhone's flashlight or an Apple TV remote are also shown in a screenshot displaying the huge widget, which is supposedly code-named InfoShack. Since then, Bloomberg's Mark Gurman has added fresh information, opens in new tab claiming that iOS 16 will contain a new lock screen designed with new backgrounds and widgets. That functionality could be in support of the iPhone 14's reported always-on display capability, which is expected to arrive in the fall. He's since hinted at new Apple apps for the new generation of iOS, but again isn't telling what those could be. The longtime Apple reporter contends that Apple could be working on some fairly significant enhancements across the board, including an update to notifications and new health tracking features. There's no further details on what those changes could be. Furthermore, back rumors revealed in late 2021 that this year's Apple devices, such as the iPhone 14, could include crash detection technologies, which will alert emergency services if the device detects that you've been in an accident. Such a feature would necessitate new capabilities offered in iOS 16, though Apple could wait until closer to the iPhone 14 launch to preview that capability.
Thank you for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. All of the product links are in the description below.